You ever just play a game and find it's too difficult? One step further. Did you ever find Pikmin 2 difficult? Well, it took me 18 years to beat Pikmin 2. Yes, you heard that right. I mean, if you look at this image, I had less than half of the treasures by day 197, and I got all the treasures by day 222. So how and why did this take me so long? Well, let me explain. Also, really quick, the properly recorded footage you'll be seeing in this video is from ModernXP, and the scuff footage you'll see, well, that's from me. To explain this journey, I've divided my playthrough into 3 parts: the beginning, my return, and the finale of the journey. The beginning. To start, I have to take you back to 2005 where it all began. In 2005, my brother and I received our first console, the Gamecube, and along with the Gamecube, we got Pikmin 2. Now, we were given Pikmin 2 because we had played the first game at the dentist. Yeah, the dentist. They had a little waiting room with a GameCube. It had Super Mario Sunshine and Pikmin 1. It was a whole thing, but I won't bore you with the details. So, with our brand new GameCube and Pikmin 2, we were ready for the challenges of Pikmin 2. And by ready, I mean not ready at all. I was 5 years old at the time, and my brother was 7, and we were afraid of Pikmin dying. As such, we tried punching everything to death. This was really slow, but kinda worked. The thing is, there are many enemies you couldn't punch to death, be it that they out-heal you or you just couldn't reach them. Well, that's where our older cousin came in. He was 9. He wasn't much better. The majority of the Pikmin deaths in this run come from him. In fact, probably around 300 do. I mean, he was better than my brother and I, but that's not saying much. We didn't make much progress here and just barely got to the perplexing pool. Due to my brother and I being afraid of all the dangers, all we did was grow more Pikmin. And we did this in the least efficient way possible, since we would repeatedly go back to the Awakening Woods, and nothing there would be spawned, so that's where the first 180 days or so came from. After this, we stopped playing the game. Not really for any real reason, but I wouldn't go back to the game until years later. The return. I'm not too sure the exact time of my return. I believe it was in 2012 or 2013. At this time, I had decided to go try and pick up where I left off in order to continue the game. Now, I wasn't confident, but armed with my YouTube Let's Play series and my council of experienced individuals, I decided to use my guides to continue my journey. And it worked! I managed to progress a lot more in the game and defeat more caves with barely any Pikmin losses. I beat the man at legs with 0 Pikmin dead. I mean, the game counted a Pikmin death, but I had used a spicy spray, and a purple Pikmin got hit, but he just didn't die, he just lost the spray. This counted as a death, but at the end I still had the same amount of purple Pikmins that I did when I entered the fight. So, he survived. During this time period of the playthrough, I probably got around 30 Pikmin deaths, maybe less. I didn't end up paying off the debt, but I got pretty close. However, I wouldn't come back to finish the game until 10 years later. The finale. In 2023, I decided to finally finish Pikmin 2. I wondered how close I was to paying off the debt. I mean, I did get pretty far when I came back in 2012 or 2013. And it turns out, I was at 9,990 out of 10,000. Yeah, I had left it at just 10 off. This time I wanted to do even better than the last time I came back. In 2004, I had lost 300 Pikmin. In 2013, I had lost 30 Pikmin. And now I wanted to lose even less. I thought about trying to get 0 deaths, and after conferring with my council, they agreed it was a good choice. However, getting 0 deaths in Pikmin is hard. I was pretty good, but going around with Pikmin is risky. You know where this is going. But thanks to previous me, I had picked up the Brute Knuckles. And now, I had the Rocket Fist upgrade. So now my plans of sucker punching everything could come true. With this power-up, no enemy was safe. It takes some time, but I would clear entire overworlds or cave levels, and then I'd just get my Pikmin to pick up enemies, or get the breadbugs too. Leaving enemies that respawn right at sunset also meant that they wouldn't respawn tomorrow, and you didn't have to pick them up. So I guess the breadbugs would get them at night. Moving on, I had actually been doing really well, but eventually I did get a Pikmin death. However, I had heard of many players over the years speak of the fabled reset button. Growing up, I thought the reset button just reset your GameCube, which meant like wipe all your data or make it explode or something. So I never did it. But I decided to do it now. And 19 years later, I discovered the wonders of the reset button. With my arsenal in its final form, 23-year-old me, the Council of Pikmin, Pikmin Wiki, and the reset button, I was now able to collect all the remaining treasures and beat every cave left in the game without losing a single Pikmin. I did lose a Bulbin to the Water Wraith though. I considered resetting, but I had gotten 2 bitter sprays and 2 spicy sprays. Also, with the fact that Bulbin can't escape with you, I decided that reality wouldn't be rewinded to bring him back. He'll be remembered though. And I can't talk about beating the game without talking about the intended final cave, the Dream Den. Going through the floors wasn't too bad. Punching everything takes its time, but it is effective. I would use Pikmin when needed, like using my army of purple Pikmins to destroy high health enemies really quick, or just my full Pikmin squad to deal with enemies that were flying or specific bosses. So don't worry, I did properly play the game too. Anyways, I proceeded to clear all the floors of the Dream Den, then took the geyser, leaving loot. I had a mixed squad of Pikmin, but read on the wiki that using almost all electric Pikmin was a good idea. So, that was my plan. I decided to come back with 95 yellows and 3 white Pikmin. Don't ask about the specifics as to why I picked these numbers. I just had the white Pikmin to help remove some of the poison at the front of certain holes that you need to be dug out. And the 95 yellows, I kind of just did that for no real reason in particular. The white Pikmin didn't help on the boss fight and instead were left near the geyser. And in the meantime, I took my 95 yellows to battle it out. I tried a few strategies on the Titan duel, like damaging the shock therapist until it was low, because I had read that he's supposed to use the weapon that is the most damage. But this didn't work at all, and it resulted in me losing a lot of Pikmin to the flare cannon and the comedy bomb, the fire and poison respectively. Since he was using those 90% of the time, this resulted in a bunch of resets. After realizing that just trying to damage the shock therapist until it was low wasn't working, I decided to try to one-phase the weapons. So I broke the poison weapon off first. I was actually able to do this in 2 phases, then I decided to break the fire weapon, which was the other most problematic weapon. I got to DPS this one like crazy since the boss decided to use electricity twice in a row, and with both those weapons down, the monster pump was little threat. Whistling the Pikmin and avoiding the captains from getting hit was relatively easy. The drops were annoying though, so I had to use my Pikmin to pick up the comedy bomb and the flare cannon and take those to be collected. Then I went back into the bowl with Louis to finish the fight. I took down the water weapon and collected that with 40 Pikmin. Then I took down the shock therapist using another 40 Pikmin and carried that away. And then I used my remaining 15 Pikmin to finish the boss. I was afraid of them getting deflowered, so I only used 15 for the final phase. I could have used more, but I only used 15. There was no real threat since all the weapons were gone, and I finished the boss with 0 Pikmin deaths. And there you have it. That is how I 100% completed Pikmin 2 over the course of 18 years. Here are all the stats of the run by the end of it. Obviously nothing here is impressive by any means, but I did manage to go from a complete noob to an experienced player to even getting a deathless run. Well, I mean deathless for a lot of the caves and for the collection of over half the treasures, apart from the one Bulbmin of course. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed my Pikmin 2 story, and now I can put it with my group of completed Pikmin games. Yep, hey, Pikmin is the only other game there. I only took 4 months to beat it, so there's nothing too crazy there, and I don't have a copy of Pikmin 1 to add to that image. I do plan on beating Pikmin 3 Deluxe on my Wii U, and I will play Pikmin 4, which is coming out super soon, and you can 100% expect a video like this, and my story for how I beat Pikmin 4, by around 2042. Until then, I'll catch you next time.